Hey out there. So I got a webcam and decided that I'm going to jump into this video game video review trend craze. It's not really a craze, is it? But just let's just pretend that it is. All right. Just for my purposes. And the first game that I'm gonna do is Crackdown 2. So, Crackdown 2. The first Crackdown, let's just talk about the first Crackdown. A lot of people remember it as the game that kind of came packaged with the Halo 3 beta. And, it kind of surprised some people about, hey, this is actually a pretty good game. It kind of came out of nowhere. I was not one of those people. I did not like the original Crackdown, and surprise, surprise, I don't like Crackdown 2 that much either. So, the first Crackdown was made by a developing studio called Real Time Worlds, I believe, and the second one is made by Ruffian Games. Yes, Ruffian Games. And you wouldn't really expect that they were made by two different developers, because they basically are the exact same game with a little different, slightly different art style. The characters now have, masks, which is kind of silly because at the beginning of the game they tell you to choose from 4 different faces, but 10 minutes into the game you upgrade and you get a mask that covers your face for the rest of the game. So I don't really understand. But yeah, let's get into what Crackdown 2 essentially is. And I've tried a couple of takes of this video review already, and I've kind of canceled them because I kind of just rambled. I'm sick of redoing this video review, so I'm just gonna ramble on, and I'm sorry if I don't make any sense, but that's just how I do. And yeah, so let's what Crackdown essentially is. It's a large sandbox open world video game where essentially you're part of this group called the Agency, and you're essentially a superpowered secret agent. You can jump really high, you can pick up cars, you can jump across rooftops, scale the sides of buildings just by using your arms to pull yourself up. And the thing is, it's actually a lot. If any of you remember the game Prototype, released a while back, it's a lot like Prototype, but Prototype was a lot better in portraying yourself as a superhero badass kind of person. Because in Crackdown, you essentially start off as kind of, I don't want to say slightly above average, so we'll say slightly superhuman. You start off slightly superhuman. You can jump pretty far, you can, pick up, you can rip off a car door and use it to block bullets and beat people over the head with it. And the only way that you can increase your stats so that you can, do the real kind of really cool jumping across the rooftops and leaping across the city and like single bounds, that kind of stuff, is by collecting one of the 500 agility orbs that are scattered throughout the entire city, or one of the 300 mystery orbs. And for those that like this kind of, no direction, just collect everything you see kind of video game, like if you liked Grand Theft Auto and finding all the pigeons or whatever, all those things they had to find, then maybe you'll like Crackdown 2. I hate doing that stuff. It's why I can't stand MMOs. It's why I can't stand the latter parts of GTA where you beat the game and you have to, if you want to do 100% completion and get those stupid achievements, you have to find like all those things hidden around the city. I cannot do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ruffian Games. But yeah, and then one of the big improvements that Crackdown 2 has over the original is that now it allows for 4-player online co-op. So if you have 3 other buddies that you want to just terrorize the city or save the city, I don't know, I do more terrorizing than I do saving. You can do that. I don't know. I've tried joining a couple of online games. Usually what happens is that, someone will get a helicopter and then just try to shoot the other people, which, isn't really a cooperative experience in my opinion. So that didn't really do much for me. I would imagine that if you have 3 other friends that play the game and, you can work with them to, complete all the objectives, it might be a little more fun. personally, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. What else? Let me look at the back of the box. Blow up the city with your friends. Blow up the city. Blow up your friends. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the game. Justice by any means necessary. I'm trying to think what else I can say about this. So new to Crackdown 2, there are these freaks, I guess you want to call them, and they're essentially just zombies that, you know, roam the city. This is as opposed to Crackdown 1, which was just, you know, pretty normal terrorist groups. I guess some of them had some superpowers, but the freaks essentially they only come out at night, and basically they come out in like numbers of like 500, and they just line the streets, and essentially it's just saying run me over with a big ass car. And you know, it's, I don't know, the thing about the freaks is that they don't really pose much of a threat unless they have like the one of the really big ones that comes to fight you, and it's really just a matter of, you know, getting the bigger explosives, throwing them in a crowd, and watching things explode. Yeah, let's see. I don't know, is there anything else I can say? I didn't like this game that much. That's pretty much all I can say. For those that are looking into Crackdown 2 or thinking about purchasing it, I would recommend that you first look at Prototype. It's one of those games that I don't think got its really fair shake at the video game media. It got a couple of, you know, mediocre reviews, a couple of good ones, and a couple of bad ones. I never really understood why people had such a problem with it. In that game, you know, you can leap crazy high just right from the start, and you can run on buildings and do all kinds of really crazy stuff. That's actually one of the things that I think would have really helped Crackdown 2, would be is if you could run on buildings and didn't have to just, you know, grab on a windowsill, push yourself up, grab on a windowsill, push yourself up, and you don't even know sometimes whether you can grab onto a surface or not. It's all a guessing game, and you can get like 3/4 of the way up a building, think that you can grab the next part, miss it, fall all the way back down, and the last 5 minutes of your gaming experience has been completely wasted. And there's a lot of that. And that's a lot of the reasons why I don't like Crackdown 2. If I was to give it a numerical rating out of 10, I would say probably 6.5. You know, there are some redeeming qualities about it. There are times when, you know, it hits its stride and it's a lot of fun. But overall, I'm not a big fan. So yeah, that's my first video review. I feel like I've talked way too long. If you guys liked what I had to say, didn't like what I had to say, post about it in the comments. Try to be nice. I'm a person. I have feelings. Don't try to hurt them. And yeah, if you guys like this, let me know, and I'll see if I can do this again sometime. Alright, see you later.